everyone, my name is Lily and I'm the book reviewer behind Utopia State of Mind, but today we're only talking about knitting. So, as I said in some of my wrap-ups, I will link them down below. I wanted to talk more on my channel about knitting. I've really started teasing it a little bit more. I did some vlogs of my knitting projects, and I also let you know what audiobooks I'm listening to, so it is sort of tangentially related to books because I'm always listening to an audiobook when I'm knitting, crocheting, making earrings, just crafting in general. But this year I wanted to make it even more of a forefront because I'm trying to show more aspects of my personality and show that reading is not the only hobby that I have. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what I made in 2025 and what my future projects will be. If you've seen some of my past vlogs, you will see that I did a vlog for this petite knit brioche slipover. This one here. This one, I will link down below the vlog, destroyed me. This brioche was very difficult to figure out. I'm looking at it now and I'm kind of like, whoa, what was the big deal? It kind of just looks like ribbed stitch. But no, it was brioche. I don't, at this point, hadn't done a lot of projects in the round. Okay, this was my first major piece of knitted garment that I've ever made for myself. I've made sweaters for myself. They were all knit flat and in pieces, so you had to seam them. I hate seaming, okay? So for this one, I was kind of like, how would it be not to seam things? That would be great. And in general, I do like it, but this one was a labor of love. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the brioche stitch. I don't really. I love this piece so much now. It is so cozy. It is made with the Knits and Thread, I think Luxe Merino. I will try to show a picture. But anyway, I love it. It feels really gorgeous. The bottom also has these increases for the ribbing at the bottom, you know, for when you go from the brioche to just straight up ribbing. I really love it now, but I just remember absolutely losing it when I was trying to make it. You'll see it in the video. It just was something that took me forever. So this one just drove me up the wall when I finished it. It took me months and months and months and months. But yeah, I love this one now, but boy, was she a problem child. Additionally, last year, I made a bunch of things I never kept for myself. I made a lot of those, I was gonna say pot squares. No, they're drink coasters. I made a bunch of those because every time I would give away books, I'd be like, hey, here's either earrings that I've made or coasters. I love kind of giving away little fun gifts like that, and I think I will continue to do that because I have a big bunch of yarn that is cotton, which are great for coasters, and they're great for kind of not pot mitts, but like things you put down to stop it. What, I don't know what they're called actually, but anyway, those. So I made a bunch of those. I also made a smitten. I will leave the pattern down below, but it basically looks like this. I just made a smitten for a different person in January, but it basically looks like this. This is a little bit different because the person that I made it for before, both people who wanted to wear this, had relatively similar size hands. Not the case for this one. This one looks a little bit funky because one hand is much larger than the other hand, but it's this. It's so that people can hold hands during the winter while they are wearing mittens. So I made a whole bunch of things that I just don't have. So this year I'm going to be much better at documenting what I've made, and I want to do more knitting vlogs. I really enjoyed it. I've already cast on another project that I haven't started the vlog for, but it's because I really, really need to finish it, and I just don't have time to film it. But for the next slipover pattern, which, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm going to talk about that momentarily. I just want to wrap up by saying the other project I finished in 2025, which is this slipover as well. This is the Hayley slipover. I'll leave all the pattern links down below, but this is the Hayley slipover. It is just really fun. I just watched it and blocked it last night, but it is this really gorgeous cabling pattern, and on the back it was knit in the round. Ultimately, this one was relatively easy to figure out, although there were some hiccups that I had when actually starting the pattern for the round, mostly because this one was knit in an interesting way where it was knit, how was this one knit actually? Oh, it was knit where you would like start the back and then you went up to the front and then down again. So the actual top part wasn't knit in the round, only the body part, which I thought when I read the pattern knit in the round, that's what it meant. It's not what it meant. And with this being my only frame of reference, I was very confused. So when I had to add the front piece to the back piece and then cast on edges in between for the side pieces, that was really difficult. I had a lot of help from a friend on TikTok. I will put their links down below because that was literally, I would just log on to TikTok. I would show pictures of this, show pictures, and be like, I don't understand. Please help me. Because what I love about Ravelry, I mean, I love a lot of things, but often it is hard to get notifications of comments, and it's also hard to get replies to comments, especially on patterns that have been out for a while. And so I did actually get a reply back, but only when I was done with this. So yeah, so help people who help on TikTok. And that's honestly why I got back into TikTok around the times of this, because I was just logging on daily being like, I did this thing now, I need help. I don't understand this, like someone help me. I really loved this one though. After I figured that out, the body was super, super easy to eventually do. This actual fiber is a lot different than the first one. I'm not so well versed in fibers yet. I had mostly been doing things that were either 100% cotton or I think like all acrylic or chunky all wool. I think if you will see ages ago, I made a cow sweater pattern, and I also did a few sweaters that were also really, really chunky. I think 10 or 12 millimeter needles. But those were all knit flat and everything like that. And so it was a little bit different how they wore, because they're supposed to be really oversized and chunky. These slipovers, not the case. And so this one is this merino. It's like super really, really soft and gorgeous, but it's very stretchy. You can see it's just very stretchy. And so this one I actually knit a size down because I knew it was stretchy. I knew it from my gauge swatch that was stretchy. This one, not very stretchy. Like there's a little bit of give, and there's a little bit of give in like sort of cable sense, but not as stretchy as the first one. So it was like a trust the process moment as I was making it, because cables, when you're naturally knitting them, they get so tight because you're, it's very sort of tense to knit them. And so only as I was kind of going like, as I was blocking this, did I say, okay, it matches the dimensions and everything. Oh, but I will say I had some problems with the math towards the end. Just like things that didn't really make sense. And while I loved the concept of this folded hem here, because I don't love weaving in things, I had a difficult time with it. I think in the future, if I was doing a folded hem, I would kind of do a contrasting color. It's a lot easier to kind of pick up those stitches. I'm really bad at figuring out what the stitches are. I've done this a few different times now, and it's been tricky. And I did it a lot on my crochet chroma hoods that I made a while ago, but theirs I did use contrasting colors, so it was a little bit easier. But anyway, this is a double folded hem, or collar for this one. So now we're going to chat about what I want to be doing in 2026. I'll be doing obviously more of what I just said, kind of like the coasters and whatnot, to get rid of yarn, but I have a few projects I want to do, so I'm going to name them out for you. The first one is I started the Seasons of Change jumper. It is my last like really bulky thing, mostly because I bought the yarn when I first started knitting, and I was kind of like, it makes a lot of sense to do really chunky things because they knit up like this, and they do, but I don't love the look of chunky things. I just realized that as I kept making it. I've actually made 3 chunky sweaters, and I've given 2 away. Because they just didn't fit what I wanted, and the people that I gave them away to, it just fit a lot better. But anyway, This is not really my thing. I'm knitting this one, but I honestly don't know if I'm going to keep it. I have someone I know, I think, who would absolutely love it. So that's why I'm trying to knit it to kind of also maybe give this away. But I'm just not like a huge fan of just the chunky knit look. These ones, while they take a lot longer, have been more satisfying and more what I would probably buy if I bought it in a store. Whereas the chunky ones, just not really my thing. I want to finish that though to get more space in my yarn stash. And they take up a lot of space. They're the Wool Ease 100% wool, like thick and chunky ones. But anyway, so Seasons of Change jumper or sweater. I'm not really sure what it's called. They keep saying like jumper and sweater depending on the country, the person who made it. Next up, after that, I want to do the Solstice Slipover. I have the same yarn because I'm absolutely obsessed with this. I never really want to pick fibers that I haven't felt in person. That's what I did for this one, and it's okay. It's like a little bit scratchier than I would have wanted, but it's still tolerable. But this is ultimately my favorite so far. It feels really lush and plushy. I know a little bit more how it behaves and how it kind of stretches out and whatnot, and I just really love this one. So I ended up getting it in green and burgundy. Interestingly enough though, when I ordered it from Michaels, they messed up and they sent me different color ones. So basically, after I knit the Solstice Slipover, and I'm gonna knit it in the reddish garnet colorway, what I want to do with all of, well, I haven't decided yet. I have still the green color as well, which I also want to do something in. But basically, when I'm done with those, my next one is I want to do just a really basic plain slipover with no patterns, no like whatever. And I want it to tie on the sides. I really love that. But I felt like, okay, I can't commit really to one color. So what I'm going to do after I finish most of my projects with this yarn is that I'm actually going to use it and I'm going to do like a striped color blocked one like this. No, not one like that, but I mean sweater but with that yarn. And I'm going to do the collar, I think a different color if I could. The body, mostly one color, but then I'm going to have a large kind of stripe panel. And I'm just going to experiment with it. I think that's really fun. And then maybe the ties, a different color. It's just a really fun way to kind of use up all of the colors I really love. I know that I wanted to do a different sweater, which I'll put a picture up. I can't remember the name of the title of it, but I wanted to do that also with one of these yarns. So I might do that actually with the green. I think that'd be pretty. It's a lace sweater, that one, and a larger lace sweater than the Solstice Slipover, and I just thought that you would lose a lot of that detail when you pick these really dark colored yarns. So I think I'm going to try to do that with the green one if I can. And then the striped one is not like a set that I'm going to do in 2026 because I don't think I'll get through the other ones. But yeah, I really want to reverse engineer the boyfriend sweater. I'll put a link up here. It was a kit that was exclusively available in South Korea store, like in a South Korean store, and also in Korean. But I've seen a lot of photos online and I've seen some videos of people making it. I'll leave the links down below. I think I could do it. I don't have the yarn, but I don't know if people have seen those punch cards that people have been doing to kind of motivate you to do stuff. I did one for knitting where I have to do 5 projects with yarn I already have. And then when I'm done, I'm allowed to buy new yarn, and I'm going to buy it for the boyfriend project. I love the colorway. I love the different stitch types. It's really gorgeous. I love it. I want it. It's going to be some math, not going to lie. The pattern also is unisex, I think, and I'm going to have to augment it based on my own personal body. But I really love it, and I want it. I think I could do it. So that is a pattern that I'm thinking about doing also in 2026. And honestly, that's all I really should say, because as you can see, in terms of things that I've kept for myself, it's not a lot. So I think with the Solstice Slipover, the Seasons of Change sweater, and then maybe if I can get it together, the other green one, will that end up to be 5? Let's see. We'll have the Seasons of Change one, the Solstice Slipover, another different like sweater thing with the green one. That's not 5. When I planned it out, I thought I could actually do it. I don't really remember what the other 2 were going to be. I have to go down later today and go through and look for my other knitting, look for my other skeins of yarn for the Seasons of Change one. So I will kind of think about it in terms of projects. I think it's probably the striped one because of that mix up with Michael's. They ended up just saying whatever, you can keep them and we'll send you the yarn that you did order. So I think it was that the other two ones are either with another blue, because I think that they sent me 4 balls of blue or like 4 skeins of blue. So it's either to do that other one and then the striped one, and then I'll get to buy my yarn for the boyfriend sweater one. So that's, I've been on a slipover streak, but honestly, I think I might need to change that because I'm already accumulating so many of them. So yeah, that's my like tentative knitting, crocheting 2026 plan. I realize that actually that doesn't include any crocheting, but since I did so much crocheting in 2024, and also this one is a crocheting one, and I feel like actually these two could work really well color-wise. But anyway, that's what I remember. It was that I want to do a scrap yarn project. I have all of these like scrap yarns. Not this one. This one doesn't count because I can use that for something else. But this one, I'll have some from the Seasons of Change one. I have some from other projects that people asked me to do. And I really want to do one of those scrap yarn sweaters. I found a pattern for it where I think it's basically just very different stripes, or like different stripes of different colors and different textures. I really want to try that. So when I'm done, and that's also why I'm trying to do the Seasons of Change one, and also try to do, well, not this one, because I'll be able to do other stuff for that. But I want to sit down when I'm done with the Seasons of Change sweater. I want to sit down with all of the different yarns that I have and figure out color-wise if I can make it happen, because I think it would be really cool. Also, side note, I have always thought gauge swatching was kind of annoying, especially because you often have to block it. But my grand plan for my life is actually that I will eventually accumulate all of my different gauge swatches, and I'm going to try to make those into something in the future. I'm not sure if a cardigan, but anyway, let me know down below what you do with your gauge swatches. But I just thought that would be really fun to do that. I love the idea of doing those mixed stitch scarves. I've really wanted to do one of those, but I rarely wear scarves. But I thought if I did this of already things that I have done and own, maybe that would be better. So anyway, those are all the thoughts in my head about my 2026 knitting plans. Let me know down below what some of your 2026 knitting plans are and what you want to see further on the channel in terms of knitting content. I would really appreciate that as I go off into my new venture. And I hope you have a really great rest of your day, week, month, and year, I guess. Also of reading audiobooks while you knit, but also just in general. Because this is I'll have to think of a different outro for my knitting stuff. A good rest of your knitting day, week, month, and year. I think I'm going to workshop that. Okay. Anyway, see you in the next video. Bye.